Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
Only we can provide that kind of good stuff. It says so right there in the intro, and it's unchallenged, that claim, unchallenged all these years, so it must be true. How you doing, John?
I'm doing well.
It's kind of dark and spooky back there where you are. You're trying out something
Figured
new.
I'd go for the giant floating head look. No, I put some more lighting underneath the shelves, and I just figured I'd see what it would look like on the camera. I actually kind of like the look.
Yeah.
The only thing illuminating my face is my iMac in front of me. It actually makes my skin glow. I feel like I just went to a spa or something.
Yeah. Okay. It does make it harder to see your setup there.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'll do this every week, but
okay, just
it's
makes
not worth it to
okay.
just go
All
back
right.
in.
Just trying something new for a time. Okay.
RetroMacCast After Hours. Yeah.
Did you hear the news? We got a special guest this week. I'm pretty sure.
I think
did we announce it last week?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. We did not. That's because we hadn't locked it down. He's a busy man. He's got many projects, and we were fortunate. He must have had a cancellation or something, because there's no way we would have been able to schedule him just a few days out. But here he is in all his glory.
Sure.
David Grealish.
Yeah, I canceled CNN for you guys. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish.
Welcome back. I think it's been a minute, right? I don't remember when you were here last. I mean, it was probably in the run up to making the documentary for Macintosh.
Oh yeah. Well, with both of you, I was on with just John not too long ago.
Oh, you mean when
it
came out or when it was finished?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I was
with both
out
you
of
guys
town.
on the show quite a while. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, hello again.
Hey.
Well, didn't you saw John at the Vintage Computer Festival, right?
Yeah.
Briefly?
I did. Right.
Yeah. I heard he
I sure
couldn't be bothered to sit in on the screening.
Yeah, I was outraged.
He had the seat up front. He had reserved.
All right. Well, let's start the show for real, and let's do that in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John and David. This is episode 692 for October 7th, 2024. Good evening, John and David Grealish.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes.
692.
692. That's
rapidly
like
approaching 700.
I mean, golly.
We should we haven't talked about how we're going to celebrate 700. It's right around the corner, John. I don't know. Is there something magical about 700? We'll be in the 700 club.
Just
I guess.
one of those round numbers that
elicits
an urge to celebrate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you guys got started. Correct me if I'm wrong. 07, right? 2007.
06.
Was it 6?
Yeah, like December.
December of 06.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Early, yeah. I wasn't there for show 1. Of course, I re-listened to it, but I think I started listening to you guys fairly early on. Somewhere.
Wow.
15, maybe 20, something in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Surely you haven't listened to all the episodes. I know. Don't lie and say you did. I'm sure.
I should have bought the company. I was such a fan.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought we would have gone the distance? Well, you're here to talk about the documentary. It's been out now for a while. It's now on YouTube.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Nice.
So, well, since we haven't talked to you like after the release, all the things that have happened, various interviews you've done, and the travels you've gone on, we'll cover all that a little later in the show. How's that sound?
Okay.
But you did bring an eBay find, so we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with eBay finds. All right. Now, This is just relaxed time to interact with the massive online audience.
That's right.
So hello, Eric's Edge.
Apples
Scarlet
Anonymous.
Swordfish. Yes.
Yeah, Scarlet, it's been a while since we've seen you on. How you doing?
All right. Let's put some stuff up on here, and if you guys are ready to go, we'll get on with it. Oh, David is rearranging his room.
I'm plugging in my little fan. Oh, look at that.
Okay, here we go. Let's do it in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you good to go? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It's time now for eBay finds. Last week we had that gorgeous big vinyl banner that featured
Sherlock. Yes.
Introducing Sherlock, your personal search detective in Mac OS 8.5. And how is that still available? I guess it's because of the it was a little sketchy, right? Because it was being shipped from afar, Slovakia to be specific, and they wanted to buy it now just $30. So it was a little sketchy. Nobody took the risk on that.
Yeah.
So it's still out there. Okay. And then we had the Picasso Mac sign, the glass dealer sign, but it didn't have the base. It was just the glass. And the glass was in really great shape. So if you were
really nice shape, yeah.
If you had a dinged up glass piece like I do, but you have a functioning base, this might
and a lot of money.
Well, they did want a fair amount. They wanted to buy it now of $1,250, but there is a make an offer, and it's still sitting out there. So maybe they'll entertain a price cut.
And they sell other, not Macintosh related, but other similar things like this. So you could buy a cheap one of those and use the base for it probably, and light it up, right?
Yeah. I've seen the plexiglass kind of remakes of these. Yeah, that still look really nice, edge lit, and yeah, absolutely.
All right, and lastly, now this one I did live on the show. This is the rare Apple Computer employee engraved wooden training plaque from 1987, featuring the modern Tectura font, laser etched, and I had never seen this particular one. It anything that from that era, with the wood and the modern Tectura font is just gorgeous. This one sold after 4 bids for $51. Guess how much I bid?
Oh my gosh!
Guess how much I bid?
You bid?
How much?
How much? How much did I bid?
Probably 45.
I didn't win it.
Right.
$44.
50.
50.
Oh, but you didn't win.
No, I got sniped right at the end.
Oh, dude.
51.
I'm so
sorry. My $50 bid
someone
that I made on the show last
week
went all the way to the last couple of seconds in. So it better not be one of you listening. I will find out. I will block you from downloading future episodes as a punishment. Actually, I won't do that. We need every listener we can get. So
that's right.
Did they always put Apple Computer Incorporated generally in lowercase like that?
That time,
for the modern Tectura font, sure. Yeah, because that was it. That was the font.
Okay. And the crazy thing about it is that they were reusing these plaques up until 1987. That font had gone away. I mean,
again, I really think they probably laser engraved a bunch of these and just had them, in stock for a while. Yeah.
Right.
They probably reused them too. They just yanked the little person's name out of the middle.
Well, that's what my plan was to do, is to put my name in there. I would have been 16, but hey, I could have been an Apple employee. All right. Some more signs this week. I don't know. It's
look at that
trend here. This one is the Apple Employee 5-year Anniversary Award frame and stand, signed by Tim Cook. Now, there have been a lot of Apple awards for terms, length of your service, signed by Steve Jobs, right? And they typically go for big money. Maybe now is the time to get in there and get a Tim Cook signed award. So after he's, moved on, retired or whatever. Maybe these will be worth something. But I like this one. It's kind of a unique design. You typically don't see things with apple featuring a real apple.
A real apple. But if you look at that apple, take away the stem, it is the exact proper shape of the Apple logo with the leaf.
It is, but it's a filled in.
It is.
And it's got a stem.
Skeuomorphic.
Stem.
Yeah.
So let me read the text of the award. So it's a what's the size on this? Let me look that up. It's square, and it says 5 years at Apple is a significant milestone. When you came here, you signed up to accomplish truly great things. Since then, you have brought passion, creativity, and tenacity, simply because that's what the pursuit of excellence requires. You have energized and inspired others through the standards you set for yourself, and you have made the kind of impact that changes people's lives. That is significant. Thank you for all you have done and all you will do throughout your journey at Apple. Signed, Tim Cook, CEO. And it's got the regular, just a black Apple logo at the top, but right below that are two, like, is that just sketches, like illustrations of two apples, one slightly smaller than the other.
Yeah,
I don't even understand.
It's weird that there's two. I don't understand that either.
It's not symmetrical.
I do like the style on it. If you look at the frame, you can see that you've got your frame, and you've got a gap, and then the certificate itself is floating in there. I don't know if it's between two pieces of glass or if it's on, mounted to something underneath it, but it's a very nice look. But yeah, the fact that there's two apples like that. I don't understand why the two. Why?
Well, and if I can comment too, if you can go back to where it shows the apples, way long time ago, before I ever became a computer tech, I did layout work. So what's weird about this to me too is if you look at the end of both of the apples, it doesn't seem centered. And then the bottom of the big apple is really tight on that text.
Yeah.
There's not enough white space there.
Right. So absolutely.
Looks very amateurish the way that was done.
The two apples are touching each other, and there's like a color blur between
them.
But
and they're from they're touching each other, like one's hovering. It is a very weird. There were some weird decisions made here.
I don't even think it's the same shape.
Honestly. I think it's close.
Look at the left edge, and see how on the logo
it's a little bit fatter.
It's a little straighter, and yet this is not. It is fatter
a little bit.
They're juicier.
It is quite a bit. They're juicier.
Oh wait! I haven't looked. Okay, somebody grab their phone. Is that the? If you do an Apple emoji, is that on an iPhone? Is that the Apple emoji?
Are there two of them?
No, I don't know about that, but I'm just curious now. All right, while you guys talk, I'll look it up.
There's so many questions with this one. It's perplexing. Well. It does seem legit. It's very high quality. Even the text and everything's embossed except for the signature. It looks like it's probably even a real signature. It doesn't it? It looks kind of legit. But anyway, they want a buy it now of $350.
Wow.
But you can make an offer on this. It ships from Crown Point, Indiana.
But then it also doesn't have the person's name on it.
No, it was just kind of generic. Like they go through all this trouble and not personalize it for somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I got it.
Okay.
That's a cut and paste just to cover the.
Oh, the name.
The name.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's just to obscure the name.
That's funny.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Okay.
It's funny because it doesn't say that in the description.
That is the Apple.
Oh, look at that.
That's the Apple emoji.
Okay, so they pasted that over the top.
Yeah, okay.
I can't believe we spent so much time on that. But we did learn. Wait, it's just one apple though, right? In the emoji?
Yes, it is.
So they took a small, yeah. All right, we'll edit all this out and pretend
Did the ad say whose name was on it?
No, it doesn't even mention the name. That's why you think it would have said in the description, hey, edited.
What it does say on the bottom though is open to offers need gone.
Oh wow, need gone. Must be,
need gone.
Maybe it's hot or something. I don't know. All right, we spent way too long on that. Okay, let's go to number 2.
Did you say the price?
Yeah, $350 or better.
Okay, all right, okay. All right,
this is like the
next.
catalog.
Next, we have a 1990 Apple computer poster, The Journey Never Ends, Macintosh LC, Apple IIe, and 2GS. And I'm guessing the LC is in there because that had the 2E card that you could put in, is my guess. Very nice poster. Let's see if it's got, it is 21.25 inches by 32 inches, 21.25 inches tall by 32 wide. This poster in listing belonged to a 30-year Apple employee of Apple Computer. It has always been rolled and never folded. It very nice. So what we've got is a picture of the 3 computers talked about on a desk, along with some toys. You know, like let's see what we've got here: a little dinosaur, abacus, sailing ship, CD-ROM, which would have been pretty darn new back then. I'm surprised that's not in a caddy. Let's see. So yeah, this looks really nice. I don't think we've ever seen this one before.
No.
You could fit an entire encyclopedia.
I wish we had actually a little bit more text of. I'm assuming this was in a school, like something that was hung in schools. This is what
David,
that looks like. It would have been.
I missed your comment. What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying you could fit an entire encyclopedia on those discs.
Right, the CD-ROM, yeah. The what was it, Groliers or whatever that came with them. Yeah, $199.99. Buy it now only. There's no make an offer. This is kind of interesting. I would be kind of neat to have this above my Apple II section.
So let me. That is not a CD-ROM. That is a laser disc for my. This is pre CD-ROM.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure? Oh, because I don't see a player, right?
Yeah, they didn't. This is 90. What did we say it was 91?
You're right.
CDs were around the first.
But no, that is definitely a laser disc because look, they even have the artifact of, you see the lines going along the radius. That is a laser disc.
That's full size. You can
artifact.
See how big it is.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's kind of wild that it's in the picture. I guess it's.
Can I tell a quick story?
Sure.
So, it ties in with my documentary.
Well, you want to save it? You want to save it for later?
No, because it ties into this.
Okay.
Is that I worked for an Apple dealer in Gainesville, Florida. At the beginning of the documentary, I talk about when I first saw Lisa and all that. So we're talking late 1989. I worked at an Apple dealer in Gainesville, Florida, where University of Florida is. Of course, you guys know that because you're in Florida. But interestingly, the Apple store used AppleNet connecting all the Macs out on the floor, and the front 2CX at the very front of the store had a CD-ROM player that was networked, so any of the Macs in the store could access a CD put into it, and it was the very first generation. And also it had a modem, and so any of the other Macs in the store could call out on that modem too.
Nice.
But yeah, that's why I remember that. Is that I know they were brand new at that time.
Yeah.
Sometime late 89.
Well, this is obviously late in the term of the Apple IIs. So I was kind of surprised to see them still putting out these marketing materials that include a Mac in there, and
having the audacity of saying the journey never ends, knowing that they were getting ready to axe
the journey was about ready
2/3 of what's in that picture.
Yeah.
But they didn't cancel the Apple II to like 93, I think 94. Ultimately,
the 2E actually, I think, lasted longer than the 2GS, didn't it?
I think so.
Were they still selling 2Es after the 2GS?
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. Did we say what they want for this?
$199.99.
Wow.
Okay. Very pricey, and no make an offer.
No make an offer.
All right, David.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. Outrageous. Yes. And as expected, you brought along. What did you bring with you?
So I thought it'd be appropriate. So this is described as vintage Apple Lisa 210, and brackets they say Macintosh XL, a rare collector's gem, and they're wanting $49.99 or best offer, but with only $100 shipping, FedEx from San Diego. But so Apple Lisas, especially in the last couple of years, have skyrocketed. But as it stands right now, especially if you could make this person come down a little bit, the fact that it works, is a good thing. So this is kind of this represents kind of the best deal on a working Lisa at this point. But you can see even with that, it's got a mismatched mouse. It's got a platinum Mac Plus mouse.
Yeah.
And it's booted, so I guess they're not showing inside the front, but it has an internal hard drive, I guess. But there you go. Lisa's
I like that in the description it says the item was pulled from a working environment. That can't be true.
Does it?
You think? I mean, doesn't that mean that it was like they were using it like in their business or home or something? Like
tested and working.
Yeah, nice.
And then whoever buys it needs to immediately get it recapped, right?
Well, it has. Does it show the boards? This one, but
this
like
one,
any
it
old
did.
Mac
There was
or
an
Lisa,
inside picture in there somewhere.
You want to check those out. I thought, did it have a? Oh, look, did it have a picture of the? Now, one thing, this board right here, if you look in the bottom right, there's no batteries there. So that's always in a Lisa, the first thing you want to check, just like old Macs. Make sure the batteries aren't there anymore because they'll just corrode. Yeah. But you're right. Check all the caps first thing.
All right. Nice. Well, we'll check in on these next week.
Just $5,000. You can get it.
$5,000. Do you have any in your stable, David? Any Lisas left?
So, actually, I do, and it's not working. But I actually found one locally, kind of recently.
Oh, nice.
So off of Facebook Marketplace. But the last one I had, it stopped working, and I had sold it before I moved. Long story.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that Taylor in the chat was I noticed that those were just emojis covering the employee's name.
Yes.
Before we did, I think. So.
Oh. Okay, he gets first.
We're so dumb.
Yeah, I know. It takes a little while. Again, we'll edit all that out.
Post-production, right? You can edit it all out.
Right.
All right, let's go to the main segment in 3, 2, 1. Okay. The real reason David is here is to kind of just get us caught up on what life has been like since the release of the documentary. You emailed us recently because the biggest, most recent news is the YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyway, so take us back a little ways because we had been seeing you pop up here and there. You did some interviews. You went to a few festivals. So, kind of tell us what are the kinds of things that you've been involved in, promoting.
So, after a fairly long delay, I actually finished it, and I thought it'd be. And since I missed the Lisa anniversary last year, its 40th anniversary, I thought I could, it'd be good. I make it for the 30th anniversary of the Mac, so I got it done just in time. 30th anniversary, right? No, 40th.
And shout out to Steve Mac 84 for, what a great teaming that wound up being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it turned out maybe that wasn't such a good timing because all the news, everything is about the Mac, of course. And, but in any case, I was glad I got it done. And then the next thing was like Steve also helped me get the DVD done. And he actually mastered that on an older Mac using iDVD, which is kind of cool.
I love it.
So it's
That's
made
great.
iDVD.
Oh man, I miss you playing with iDVD. Yeah.
And then I got it all fulfilled, So an important thing for me was to make sure everybody on Kickstarter got to see it first, because that was kind of a pet peeve of mine. I supported other films, and but anyway, got the DVD done, got all of those, everything fulfilled and shipped out, and Kickstarter done, and kind of jump ahead. Oh, and then I got it distributed, so it is on Amazon Prime, so anybody can watch it there, and a couple other places that I can't. I'd have to go to Film Hub and look, but I did go to the Vintage Computer Festival Southeast in Atlanta, and I got to show the movie there, and I had a booth, and just talked about it and sold copies of the DVD and stuff. And then, but I have a quick story. I wasn't planning to go to California, but then they actually contacted me, and they offered to fly me out.
Oh my goodness! The computer. And, wait. Who's right? They? The festival.
The Vintage Computer Festival West at the Computer History Museum. So, so very exciting. But guess what happened?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I read about this. Yeah, the whole thing. What delays or something? What happened?
I booked, on Delta, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida now, so I got a connecting flight from Jacksonville to Atlanta and Atlanta to San Jose. So my flight was delayed in Jacksonville about 35 minutes. So then, not too bad, right? Then I got to Atlanta, and I guess I learned a lesson because I've never done this before, that if you're going to something really important, don't try to get something that's only an hour in between the flight.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I hauled butt in Atlanta airport, and not only did they not wait on me, they left 5 minutes early. The San Jose flight. So I ended up sitting in the Atlanta airport for 9 hours before I got the new flight.
My
completely missed Saturday. I missed my entire big moment of showing the film in front of an audience at the Computer History Museum in the Mountain View.
So did they just play it without you, or they just didn't do it?
So the good news is that I had a lot of time in the airport, so I got it uploaded and got them a link, and they downloaded it and they showed it without me. And about 100 plus people saw it, so I was happy for that. And then I got there, and then I was there for I guess it was that. I'm getting confused. Is that Friday? I think that was Friday. So then Saturday I was there, and they gave me a booth. I wasn't going to have one, which was nice, and so I hung out. So but it's like my big moments. I was a little bummed at that, but
too bad.
I was happy people saw it. But so the sale, it's a niche topic, and I've been happy otherwise with people seeing it, and I've been selling it on Vimeo. It's the other place you can rent it or buy it and stream it, download it, or whatever. Once it went on Amazon Prime, they cut their price. They made it a lot cheaper, so I cut the price on it. So it's $1.99 to rent it and $4.99 to buy it on Vimeo now. But sales were getting kind of couple a week or whatever, which is okay. I never meant to make money off of it. So recently I decided I was just I want people to see it. So I decided to put it up on YouTube now. So it's free.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you can still buy it if someone wants to buy it. You can, or you want to, and also I guess if you don't have YouTube Premium, if you don't want to see ads and stuff, then you can rent it, on Amazon Prime or Vimeo for $1.99.
Sure. Yeah.
So looking as of right now, it's gotten almost 12,000 views. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Hey.
And just that's not even 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. That's
great.
So I think it'll keep growing. A lot of good comments. So I'm happy with it. It was a big undertaking. On my to-do list, by the way, though, is I want to start, now that I have it on YouTube, I want to start putting the individual interviews in their entirety without me in it, and just barely edited, and start putting them up on YouTube too.
Oh, it's just separate.
So since now that it's been out for a while and everything, have you how many people have, surely some people have come to you and tried to tell you and told you their story, their Lisa stories, right?
Since it's come out?
Yeah. Like new people will come up and go, oh, hey, this is what I was, my exposure to the Lisa was like.
Yeah, did you get an exposure to anybody that maybe, had you known them beforehand, might have been part of the documentary or something, like people come out of the woodwork that have Lisa background?
No.
Not really. Well, good. Well, then you left no stone unturned then, I guess.
Yeah, again, I'm very happy with how it turned out, and but no major press has happened for it still.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit, I don't want to say I'm bummed, but I think it'll happen sooner or later.
Right.
But that'd be great if it finally gets covered on some major website or something, and that'll bring a lot more attention to it.
Sure.
But it's a very niche topic, I guess. But anybody
I learned a lot. I learned a lot from it because again, I was more Apple II and way late actually in the game, a Mac person. So, the Lisa stuff totally bypassed me. So it was really nice hearing about that. All the Sun remarketing.
Yeah.
Part that whole thing, that was all crazy. It was pretty
cool. Yeah, and that's a major part of the whole story. And then, it was very last minute for me to decide to do the intro, the outro, and where you see me at the beginning of the film. I had no intention of ever being in the film. And that's the only time you hear me or see me. But I felt like near the end, I thought that was a good thing, because it ties everything together better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because it's a personal thing for me. I bought my first Mac, which was a Lisa from Sun Remarketing, and I met Bob Cook, not in person back then, but Bob Cook, who was the owner of Sun Remarketing. I actually was on the phone with him a couple of times. I had some questions and stuff with my Lisa or whatever. Actually, my very first one I remember I had to send the hard drive back to them. I don't remember exactly, but I had some problems or whatever, but they fixed it, which was nice.
Well, you may not have run into any cool Lisa stories on your recent travels, but there's some comments now coming in on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to read one of them here.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if you saw it. Are you following the comments very closely?
Yeah, I have been on and off. Yeah, I haven't looked maybe a couple of days.
The one from BM Hanlon was written 10 days ago. It says, "Wow, many memories conjured up for me. I joined Apple in 1981 in the peripherals division, and I recall the day my manager took me over to Bandley Drive to see a very secret Lisa prototype. You needed a blue badge to get in. The rest of us had red. Blown away, of course. A few years later, I was writing the ROM for one of two computing projects, Big Mac and Mid Mac, one of which would later become the Mac 2. I was on Big Mac along with the hardware engineering leader, Rich Page. Steve Jobs was backing Big Mac, but it was ultimately canceled in favor of Mid Mac after the many months of parallel development. We held a wrap party at Rich's house where the team gathered to hear Steve thank us for the hard work we did. Steve left Apple soon after." So there's somebody that gets to see a Lisa prototype in work. But yeah, so maybe we'll continue to hear from people who follow the comments.
I mean, but can you believe that we're still, again, whether you use a Mac or you use a Windows machine, and even whatever smartphone you use, we're all using that legacy still.
Yeah.
Yeah. The graphical user interface. But can you imagine how groundbreakingly, mind blowing it was back then? I mean, I remember when I first saw it.
I can't imagine. I was there when I saw
there you go.
for the first time. Yeah. It was so shocking.
It's easy to forget, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
Or maybe
how many more years?
Yeah, a lot of the your audience probably know, but there's a lot of people they don't realize,
Sure.
Yeah. Well,
in the comments, Rick Carrero wanted to know where do you make the most money for it? Because they've been wanting to buy it. So, of all the different places it is available, which one gets you the most money for it?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. Vimeo. So Vimeo.com.
All right.
Again, where you can either rent it or you can buy it. So $1.99 or $5.99. And of course, if you buy it, you can download it or you can just stream it anytime you want with an account.
Good question. Okay. There's a younger version of myself there. I'm not.
And of course, I have DVDs, but even like I took some to the show and stuff. It is sort of a duh moment because I knew this, but DVDs aren't the same, aren't HD. So I would rather people watch it
Blu-ray
digitally,
or something,
right? Because they watch it in the best quality.
Sure, right.
But the DVD turned out very nice.
Yeah. So speaking of DVD, I will sign over rights to this interview right here for inclusion in the DVD director's cut expanded edition box set or whatever you're planning. You put this in the bonus section. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the update.
Like your segments? Were you happy with them? Were you surprised?
We were actually, John and I were talking about that earlier today, and we were commenting on how painful it is to watch, yourself, right? So obviously it was an honor to be part of it and help as little as we did with the project, and but then watching yourself is just really tough.
But like because I used to do podcasting too. You had to get used to your voice, listening to yourself too.
We talked about that too. Yep. We talked about that phenomenon where, and I don't know what it is, but my voice is not weird to me. Maybe it was years and years ago. Maybe it's because I got used to it or something. But it sounds, when I listen to myself speak, it sounds just like I hear myself in my head. So I don't even know.
Well, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard to us. James.
Yeah, that's what John pointed out. He says you may be used to it, but I sure as hell am.
Every week.
Stop talking.
Well, I imagine. I mean, how awkward was that for you? How many takes did you go through filming yourself for your portions?
A few. quite a few, yeah. And you know what makes it easier is that because then you can cut in, images and other stuff, so you can stick stuff together instead of trying to do it one take.
Yes. Those are the most annoying YouTube channels where they take somebody speaking and there's these constant, they'll say half a sentence and they'll cut, it's like, oh my gosh, can't you just speak? All right. Well, anyway, you check it out on Vimeo first. And then of course you can stream it on YouTube and
tell somebody.
You can buy it on Amazon and tell somebody about it. Let's make this thing go viral and break the internet. Okay.
Break the internet, yeah.
Hack the planet.
All right. We're gonna go to news. We just got one news story, but it's kind of significant. And it's kind of apropos because, well, let's wait till we.
Oh yeah, unless this is what your news is about. I have one too, but let's see what yours is. It might be the same.
This is mine.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
Yeah, you got the clues.
Yeah.
All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, it's time for news. Just got the one story here, but it's pretty significant. Over at Bonhams, that's bonhams.com, the auction house. They are previewing the Apple Twiggy Macintosh prototype used in the development of demonstration software. This, for years and years, right? This was sort of a myth. Like, wasn't there a long period where we never even...
Yeah.
There was legend, right? Mm-hmm. That there was a Macintosh that had a Twiggy drive in it because they developed... This was before the 3.5-inch drives were available. And so they had to develop with a Twiggy drive in it, which of course was in the Lisa. But we'd heard tales of it, but never seen the actual hardware. And it was probably, I don't know, I'd be guessing, I don't know how many years ago it was when one had emerged.
I'm gonna say about 10 years ago.
That's what I was gonna say. 10.
Right? Yeah.
I was gonna guess 10 too.
And there's like a picture, like Steve Wozniak was involved in that whole little group out in California and stuff, and checking it out.
Let's see if I can zoom in on these photos here. It almost doesn't even look real, right? You're so used to the
remember Mac. Remember Dana Sabara's creations?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it would be almost one of those, right?
And it looks like it has a Apple II mouse connected to it, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. That special Apple II like C mouse or whatever it is, or.
Well, it's the one where the button is the exact same color as the case.
Yeah,
sadly, but it was still the same kind of mouse. I mean, it was still 100% compatible.
But you have to think there was a point when all the pre-production Macs were Twiggy based, because remember the other story about where they had to sneak the Sony guy in.
Oh yeah,
Steve Jobs didn't want him to go to the Sony drive and all that, right? And then they convinced Steve Jobs, we need to go to this new Sony 3.5-inch.
Yep, I'm scrolling through. There's a pretty lengthy description. Unfortunately, there's only 3 photos. I would have loved to see inside photos of the logic board, because it does talk about like Mr. Mac is on the logic board, but there's no photo of it.
Did they say it works?
Did they even say that? Right. The picture doesn't have it on. I'm going to quickly look through here.
Mac Man on the edge.
It does come with a diskette labeled Mac Word. There's not a lot of specifics about this particular model. I don't see any comments on it working, like what they've done to try to power. So unfortunately, there's a lot of details missing, which is a shame. It's kind of irresponsible when they think it's going to fetch between $80,000 and $120,000. you'd want some real detailed photos and some
Yeah.
information on its operation, and or maybe that's going to come. This is just his preview lot. It's going to get auctioned off, I think, between 13 and 23 October. So maybe this is just a teaser. Hopefully, we'll see some details next week, right? But cool piece of history. So this is the weird missing link between Lisa and Macintosh from a hardware perspective. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, that's over at bottoms.com, and we'll find out next week if they provide more detail, and we'll track the bidding on this. What do you guess? Is it going to get 100K? I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because there's how many of these have surfaced now? Like 3?
Well, and
this may be one of those. Exactly.
Well, see, there was that one from 10 years ago, right? And then speaking of Mac 84, Steven.
Yeah.
He worked on one, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
He restored one for somebody? It's not this one, is it?
Well,
if it was, they should show the pictures of it working, because you get that.
Yeah. Well, we'll check in with him, and he probably knows the story behind this one. Okay.
But yeah, they don't go into enough detail about it, or do they? Or who specifically owned it, or they're just giving their basic story.
The providence. I mean, obviously, it was a internal unit at some point that somebody absconded with it. David, I see you're wearing your T-shirt from Apple Park.
Yeah,
were you out there? Did you visit?
19.
Oh, nice.
They don't sell it anymore.
That particular style?
No, because I just went there, right? So when I went to Vintage Computer Festival West, I specifically went to the store again.
Yeah.
And I got where it has the classic Mac Picasso or whatever that they had, which is nice and black.
Yeah.
But I was going to buy a new one of these because this one's getting kind of worn.
Yeah, but they stopped selling it. Huh.
Yeah.
I've yet to go to the new mothership.
It was busy, boy. It was crazy busy.
And they've had like the Picasso one. They've had a number of retro designs over the years, and they pop up on eBay and maybe other places. People will resell them with huge markups, but I guess it's cheaper than me getting on a plane and flying out there. And coincidentally, I had one. I finally bit the bullet and bought one on eBay and had it delivered yesterday. And I was going to wear it, but I didn't get around to it. But I've got it here before, so I will show it all. Actually, it's so cool that I it's almost like I should frame it. And I think it was a limited run, because they like to do that, limited runs. And so I think this is the most inside baseball. It's not that one. No, I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. This is glorious. This, of course, is the Skull and Crossbones
with the Apple
that was on a flag that Susan Kerr painted, because the Macintosh team consider themselves pirates. Would you rather be a pirate than join the Navy? And so the Skull and Crossbones has the 6-color Apple logo in one of the holes of the eye holes. So yeah, they did. I mean, talk about a deep pull and have these shirts for sale.
You should have hoisted up your flagpole.
Well, there was I think Susan still sells like a recreation of this flag.
Yeah, she paints new ones of that, doesn't she?
And it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
She'd be a great guest, actually, for our 700th episode. David, can you hook us up with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have her on speed dial.
All right.
But what's funny about that? Because literally, in my teaser trailer or whatever, I mean, Steve Jobs, he literally kind of like, I don't know, say declared war when he commandeered the Macintosh project. Right? He basically just like, they kicked me off the Lisa project. I'll show them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hoist a pirate flag and say we're gonna make a better Lisa. And then he literally kind of pirated people up from the Lisa project.
Yeah, and kind
of hardware and software.
Poor Jeff Raskin left him in a corner someplace.
Yeah.
I don't know how long he stayed after that. All right.
I've had 2 Canon cats. I've owned 2
Canon
cats in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Or both I found at thrift stores over the years.
Holy
smoke.
I never even maybe I saw one at the Computer History Museum one time, but that was probably it. Cool. All right, let's close the episode out in 3, 2, 1. All right, that about wraps it up for another episode of the RetroMacCast. Thank you, David, for joining us. Good to see you. As always, we should get together more often.
Anytime.
You have, that was a multi-year project that, you spent tons of hours and so much energy.
Yeah. Travel.
But you are at your roots still, a computer historian, and that's in your blood. Is this gonna, are you channeling anything? Is there something else that,
so slowly, I put the film on YouTube. I haven't really done anything else, but I'm slowly kind of getting back into the hobby. And then, the 50th anniversary of the Altair is coming up in January, and that's a big milestone in computer history. So I'm working on an article and a video for that.
Oh, okay.
Not a major documentary or anything, but a YouTube video. But I want to do more stuff on YouTube and write articles again. It's kind of, because I was running late. A lot of stuff happened in my life, and I didn't do anything. I didn't really pursue my hobby so much. I didn't write because I felt guilty about, like, I can't go do other stuff until I finish this movie.
Yeah.
So now that I've finished it, I can finally kind of actually pursue the hobby again.
Well, that's wonderful.
But yeah, I've acquired some vintage computers here. I'm trying to start a group up here in the Jacksonville area, northeast Florida area.
Nice.
And
speaking of which, I don't know if John responded. I didn't respond. I'm sorry. You pointed out that there was a Tallahassee group starting up, and it is a couple. It's a couple of hours from here, so it's not an easy ways out and back, but it is very interesting.
Yeah, try to make it if you can.
We should keep tabs on it. Maybe sometime John and I can make the trek and do something with that. But that's great to see that there's something at least close by.
Yeah,
definitely close by. All right, we're going to be back next week, John and me.
I'll talk about the Mac recorder, or
yes. That's what we were going to talk about this week, right?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk about that next week. Yeah.
All right. Until next week, remember, it's not old.
It's retro. Got to do a John impression.
All right. Put him on the spot.
I was so glad to be able to put that at the end of the movie. That was always my intention.
All right. Well,
yeah. So the next meeting in Tallahassee is not this Saturday coming up, but the following one, just for your information.
Okay.
I'm actually having my meeting this Saturday, but we had 4 people. Yeah, it takes a while. It takes some time to get people to show up.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll see. There's also a group in South Florida, kind of in the greater
and you probably know several of the people who are in that one
on Facebook, and getting more and more active. So maybe we'll get a show going here in Florida one day.
That would be nice. I mean, the Atlanta one's pretty nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I still haven't made it to the new computer museum, Lonnie's museum.
Yeah, it looks great now. It's really
really. Next time I'm up there, I really need to get by there.
And you guys followed the sales of all that stuff from the Seattle museum.
Oh yeah,
you saw.
That's right. Did he buy a bunch of that stuff?
Yeah, apparently what they didn't do in that auction, he bought up the rest of it.
Oh wow.
But yeah, how about that? You saw that Lisa one sold for $800,000. It's like, what the? What? That just doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make.
It's not like it was Paul Allen's personal Lisa one on his desk or something. I mean,
even if it did,
that's just I don't know.
Yeah.
But I brought that up because, really the Computer Museum in the United States in California and then the one in Atlanta are the two big ones now. The only ones really exist. Though there's a really nice one in Bozeman, Montana. And
I really wish I had been able to make it to the one in Chicago. The Chicago one looked a lot. The one in Chicago, the vintage computer.
Isn't there still one on the East Coast or
in...
not? I guess not.
No, because it was in Boston, and that's the one back in '97 or whatever. It moved to California.
Oh, okay.
It became the Computer History Museum.
Got it. I guess I keep thinking about the one that's associated with BCF East, but that's not really a computer museum, right? It's some other kind of museum of sorts.
Oh, yeah. And actually, they have a pretty decent little museum there too. Yeah. Okay. In New Jersey, where the East show is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to say anything wrong. It's a nice museum. It's worth seeing, but it's not like a world-class museum, like the Computer History Museum is. Or
Sure. Okay. Well, hey, thanks everybody online for joining us, and hope to see you back next week. And we'll play a little music, play a little intro. We'll wave goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, you're not supposed to talk during this time.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks for listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.
It's nice of your wife to always step in and do that outro every show.